The following edited narrated DVD will document Aquatic Inspection's wet inspection and cleaning of Goldshot Reservoir for the Lake Hemet Municipal Water District. Goldshot Reservoir is a welded steel potable water storage facility located in Garner Valley, California. The reservoir is 24 feet high with a diameter of approximately 50 feet. Goldshot Reservoir has a storage capacity of 300,000 gallons. The inspection and cleaning were conducted on April 26, 2011. The majority of the paint on the steel exterior ladder and safety cage is in good condition. The ladder guard was securely padlocked at the start of the inspection. An example of corrosion near the base of the safety cage. The ladder securely welded to the shell or vertical walls. The facility was erected on a concrete foundation or ring wall. The majority of the concrete foundation or ring wall appears to be in good condition. Slight cracks and chipped concrete are present in a few areas in the foundation or ring wall. Close-up of an anchor bolt. Minimal corrosion is located on the anchor bolts. Another example of chipped concrete in the foundation or ring wall. These areas should be closely monitored. Erosion is not located at the base of the facility. Another example of chipped concrete in the foundation or ring wall. Light surface corrosion is present in a few areas on the shell or vertical walls. The paint on the exterior of the shell is extremely chalky. The bulk of the corrosion on the shell appears to be a result of vandals throwing rocks at the facility. Water leakage or graffiti are not present on the shell. The inspector illustrates how chalky the paint is on the exterior of the shell. Another example of the good condition of the majority of the anchor bolts. The overflow line is located at approximately 9 o'clock. The majority of the paint on the exterior of the overflow line is in good condition. Chip paint and light surface corrosion are present in a few areas on the overflow line. The line is secured to the shell by 2 steel standoffs. The overflow line exits the reservoir near the top of the shell. The target, located next to the overflow line, appeared to be functioning properly during the inspection and cleaning. Approximately 22 feet of water was in the reservoir. The common inlet-outlet line enters the reservoir near the base of the shell at approximately 11 o'clock. The bulk of the paint on the exterior of the line is in fair condition. Cracked delaminating paint is present in a few areas on the common inlet-outlet line. Water leakage was not present on the line. The common line was not isolated during the inspection. A level sensor line enters the facility near the base of the shell next to the common line. The line is wrapped in insulation and appears to be in good condition without water leakage. Goldshot Reservoir has 1 round shell manway. The bulk of the paint on the manway is in good condition. Light surface corrosion is present on the bolts securing the manway. Water leakage is not present. The manufacturer's nameplate, which would have identified the date of construction, is not present on the exterior of the reservoir. Plans of the facility were not provided. The paint on the safety railing is in good condition. The access hatch was securely padlocked at the start of the inspection and appears to be in good condition. The bulk of the epoxy coating on the interior of the access hatch is also in good condition. Light surface corrosion is visible on the interior of the access hatch. This area should be monitored. The facility has a safety cage attached to the interior ladder. Note the light surface corrosion on the shell above the waterline. The paint on the exterior of the roof of Goldshot Reservoir is in fair condition. Exposed primer is visible in many locations on the exterior of the roof. An extremely minimal amount of corrosion is located on the exterior of the roof. A stubbed out line is located on the roof. Light surface corrosion is visible at the base of the line. A large vent is located in the center of the roof. Exposed primer is visible in many locations on the vent cap. Note the graffiti present in many areas on the vent cap. The graffiti was documented during our last inspection conducted in 2004. The fine mesh vent screen is in good condition on the interior of the vent. Holes, tears, or voids that could allow contaminants to enter the facility are not present. In conclusion, the majority of the exterior of Goldshot Reservoir is in good condition. We will now document the condition of the interior of the facility. Water clarity on the interior of the reservoir was rated as excellent. Coating defects have resulted in light surface corrosion in a few areas on ladder rungs near the base of the ladder. The bulk of the coating on the ladder and safety cage below the waterline is in good condition. Blistered or delaminating coating is not present on the ladder. The ladder is securely welded to the shell or vertical walls. Indications of vandalism were not present on the interior of Goldshot Reservoir. We last inspected the interior of the reservoir in 2004. In approximately 2005, many coating defects on the interior of the reservoir were addressed with a two-part epoxy patching material. Light surface corrosion is visible near the edges of many of the patches. The two-part epoxy patching material has NSF 61 approval for application in potable water storage facilities. A couple of the epoxy patches applied to coating defects on the shell have delaminated. Another example, corrosion near the edge of epoxy patches. The shell is not pitted in locations where coating defects are present. Cathodic protection is not located on the interior of Goldshot Reservoir. Almost the entire floor was covered with between 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch of sediment. The sediment consists of extremely fine silt and sand. At the conclusion of the inspection, all sediment and debris was wet cleaned from the floor of Goldshot Reservoir. The center pole is the only support column located on the interior of the facility. The majority of the epoxy coating on the base plate is in good condition. Coating defects have resulted in pinhole type corrosion in approximately 12 locations on the base plate. The bulk of the epoxy coating on the center pole below the waterline is also in good condition. Coating defects have resulted in corrosion in approximately 12 locations on the center pole below the waterline. Note the corrosion near the base of the center pole. Blistered or delaminating coating is not present on the center pole. Note the excellent water clarity on the interior of the facility. The condition of the coating on the interior of Goldshot Reservoir has slightly deteriorated since our last inspection conducted in 2004. In approximately 2005, a few coating defects were addressed on the center pole below the waterline. The bulk of the epoxy patches are in good condition. Extremely light surface corrosion is visible in a couple of areas near the edge of epoxy patches. An example of the condition of the epoxy coating on the center pole near the waterline. Another example of a large patch that was applied to coating defects on the center pole near the waterline. Light surface corrosion is visible in many locations on ring number 1 near the waterline. The condition of the epoxy coating on ring number 1 has significantly deteriorated since our last inspection. An extremely slight accumulation of surface scum was observed floating on the waterline. Another example of the condition of the coating on ring number 1 below the waterline. View of the horizontal weld seam that connects ring number 1 with ring number 2. The bulk of the coating on the weld seam is in good condition. Blistered coating is not present on the shell. This is an example of the condition of the coating on ring number 2. The majority of the epoxy coating on ring number 2 is in good condition. View of the weld that connects ring number 1 with ring number 2. The inspector documents that this is sediment loosely adhering to the weld seam and not coating defects. The epoxy coating on the shell below the waterline is extremely chalky. Slight contact would result in a white chalky type residue being dispersed into the water column. The bulk of the coating on ring number 3 is also in good condition. Many coating defects were addressed by the divers in 2005 on the weld seam at the transition from shell to floor. Light surface corrosion was observed in a few areas on the edge of epoxy patches. Another example of where coating defects were addressed on ring number 3.